Call me. Chav Daled and page Reish Chav Vav. Safe Chav Daled. Call me Idi. 1 second.
Amen. There you go.
Okay, so Kol Mi Shehidu Alav Shav Avera Plainus. People testified that this guy did an Avera. Alpha Pishal History boy, but no one gave him a straw. So normally to get Malchus you need a straw, right?
Where are you?
Shulchan Aruch Sif Chav Dalet. So they testified that this guy, he ate treif, he walked to the McDonald's and he ate, but no one gave him a straw. Shahare Eina Leika. He doesn't get Malchus, there's no straw, there's no Malchus. So is he Pasul? He doesn't get the Malchus? Says the Shulchan Aruch, Pasul. He's still Pasul even though he doesn't get Malchus. That's only if it's something that everybody knows is an Avera. But if he did something where it's likely, Korvadava means it's likely that he did it unintentionally, so what's it then? Then he needs Azara. So then he's possible. So if he did something that everyone knows is also, says the Shulchan Aruch, even if he didn't get Azara, he's possible. Guy walks into McDonald's, everyone knows you can't do that. So what's it then? Posleidus, even Beli Asra. But if he did something that people don't know about, you need to be Masra. Says the Shulchan Aruch. Ketzad, give me an example. You see this guy tying his shoelace on Shabbos? Or untying his shoelace on Shabbos? I guess in a way that's also obviously. Not in a Kesha She'ena Keyama, Kesha She'ena. He ties a knot, he ties his boat down to the yard, whatever it is, does one of these professional knots. You gotta say, hey buddy, don't tie that knot, it's Chil Shabbos. You hear a Psak al Shulchan Aruch, most people don't know you can't tie a knot on Shabbos. Isn't this an incredible Chiddush? Someone would ask you, do you think 500 years ago people knew that it's also to tie a knot on Shabbos? Says the Shulchan Aruch, most people don't know. It's unbelievable, right? It's like a peek into history over here. So people didn't know it's also. Yep. If they see him doing a melacha on Shabbos, hey buddy, it's Shabbos, it's Yontif, don't forget. You thought it's still Purim? No, it's Shabbos now. Right? Shema shechechu, maybe you forgot it's Shabbos. So there's two things you got to tell the guy. Firstly, you got to tell him this is also. Secondly, you got to tell him, by the way, it's Shabbos. You see someone walking into a casino, Talmud, regularly, or a guy decides to get a job working for the tax authorities, or he becomes a gabba, like Yoni, who takes money for himself. Right? And he's chesed him. Tzrichim ha'edim l'idiyai. We got Edim going to say, Yoni, shagets. Shagets. You're not allowed to take money for yourself. Shreishet over the apostle edus. You got to tell him this is also.
Again,
why? Because people don't know it. People don't know you can't gamble. People don't know you're not allowed to be a tax collector. You only hear this. Why is the Gabbai called a Gabba?
Why?
Because he used to be grave with the Kesef. That's what his job was. You knew that?
No, I didn't know that.
Nor did I. Grave with take. He was grave with it. He was grave with the money, and he took a cut for himself.
Good idea.
No, why was the Gabbai apostle? Because he takes more from one guy and less from the other guy. That's why the Gabbai apostle. Okay, so take a look in the Shulchan in Shach. The The Kosa Sham, Ava Vera, Shemba Malkus, Pasal Midrabanan. If someone does an Avera, the only Pasal, the Aimba Malkus, you're Pasal Midrabanan. The guy spoke Lashon Hara. The guy lied, he's Pasal Midrabanan.
The Shach?
Yeah.
But there is
Last line in the
there
Shach.
is Malchus. There's no
Oh, that's what he's going to say. The Khan Mash with the Pasal Daraisa. Here, the Shulchan Aruch doesn't say it's Pasal Midrabanan. Here, without Hasra, it's Mash is Pasal Midraisa. So why here is this guy? There's no Malchus, right? There's no Hasra, there's no Malchus. So why is he Pasal Midraisa? You're saying he's only Pasal Midrabanan, L'chayra. V'yeshliash of the Khan Shechayiv Malchus Al Isa Ver Rak Shaloi Yisubai Pasal Daraisa. We're the last line on the Shach on the first Ovid. Back to Reish Chof Vav. Last line in the Shach.
That's why.
So the Yeshliash. The answer is the Khan. Kevan Shechayiv Malchus Al Isa Ver Rak Shaloi Yisubai Pasal Daraisa. So you Pasal Daraisa as long as you're Chayiv Malchus. Even if they can't give it to you because there's no Asra, that does not mean you're not Chayiv Malchus. So all these Masechtas, all these sukkahs in Shas, you're Chayiv Malchus, you're not Chayiv Malchus, even though we don't give Malchus nowadays, it's totally halacha l'maisa. So what? You at least postulate this midaraisa. The woman's on Mukadeshus, right? So you have to know, is he Chayiv Malchus or not? What's it, Negea? Not for Malchus, but for this. Is he postulatus, midaraisa? Is she married?
The question is if all these Averas are Rabani Daraisa.
He seems to be saying that this is Daraisa. You possible Daraisa. And the Avera is a Daraisa. He's over Avera, you Chayiv Malchus. You're not Chayiv Malchus for Avera Rabbanan. So he's over Avera Daraisa. But without Hasra, he's possible Daraisa. So the halacha l'maisa, a guy walks into McDonald's without Hasra, he can't be aid on a Kedushin anymore. He's possible Aedus. The marriage isn't a good marriage, the get's not a good get. Oh, so that's a good kasha. If you went to buy a can of Coke, they say it still has to walk into McDonald's because of Marasayan. But that's a lav shem b'maisa. So that's a lav shem b'maisa you'll get Malchus for, so you'll be kosher Aedus.
Wait, so if you get coffee from McDonald's, the drive-through, it's usher?
I don't think that the drive-through is. I'm not sure what the same thing as a regular. There's a mokat to be b'chalek between driving through a place and walking in. I think they used to say that you can't walk. Maybe nowadays it became like the normal. That's where people use a bathroom. And those became like the public bathrooms. But like when I was growing up, there was such a thing called public bathrooms. If you went into McDonald's, it wasn't to use a bathroom. It was to get the chips, right? Or to get something worse. You didn't have to go there to get a Coke. Go to get a Coke from somewhere else. Everywhere, they sell drinks everywhere. If you want to McDonald's, to get treif. But nowadays, I think they just turn them into like the public bathrooms. There aren't any public bathrooms anymore in these places. So then, maybe you could be
That's exactly what happened to us. We were in Holland. My wife went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I asked one of the locals, and I said, "Go to McDonald's."
Right. So they say, is it better to put your kippah on, or is it better to take it off? So the shaila is it a shaila of chashad, or is it a shaila of shalayilmudu? There's two problems. One is that people think it's kosher. Oh look, our uncle walked into McDonald's, it must be kosher, right?
Why are no Jews there in the area?
Right, that particular city is very few.
So if there's no Jews there, the question is if people think you're eating. Shad, people think when you go on vacation, like a lot of Israelis, they go on vacation, they eat treif. I was once in the airport and they upgraded me for some reason to business class. Don't ask me why. It was a mistake, total mistake, I think. One of the first times I flew, and they put me out. It was a transfer flight. I was going to America. They stopped off in Spain, and I was sitting for like 3 hours in the business class in lounge. In the business class lounge, I'm sitting there in the lounge, and I had a baseball cap on my head and a coat because I don't know. I'm in the middle of Okay, so I'm sitting there in the business class lounge, and this Israeli couple sit right in front of me. And they serve like tons of free food over there. It's all like chazer and the fanciest food. They're sitting there eating chazer and, oh, it's so good, it's so good, so good. After about 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I gotta like, I can't make them a chad, I don't want to say anything, but like a little bit let them feel like, you're still here. Take off my hat. Guys, big black keeper, their faces both drop, they're like, was hilarious. It was the funniest thing I ever did. No, I no, but still, they thought, they're just embarrassed. I didn't say anything. I didn't do it. I just said, like, I'm just a from guy sitting here. It was the funniest thing ever. You had to be there to appreciate it.
Never.
Because a lot of Israelis, they say, I keep kosher 100% in Israel. When you go there, what can I do? I speak to Israelis when I travel. Like, what do you eat? I was once in a place, in a trade show, and we're sitting at the Shabbos table in Chabad. And so there's a bunch of guys sitting there, and everyone's asking each other, so what do you eat? What do you eat? This guy said, yeah, of course I eat kosher. No, so what do you eat? I got the Pizza Hut. So like, everyone's like, no, during the week. What can you eat in the pizza? What could be wrong? It's dough, it's cheese, So they put meat on it. It's like pepperoni's meat, chaza. He's like, what? Pepperoni's meat? Basar v'chalav? No, it's not basar v'chalav. It's fine. So basar v'chalav, you're okay. It's just chaza. I take out the pepperoni, fine. People don't know. Anyway,
Chinuch. We need more chinuch.
so people don't know. In the time of Shulchan Aruch, people didn't know you can't tie your shoelace on Shabbos or whatever it is. Kesher Kayama. That was the Rav. It's a big chiddush. He says Rav Amenu Yedim. It's not a commute. Rav Amenu Yedim. You can't tie a knot on Shabbos. It's a pella.
Oh, you just fix it. Shoelace you allowed at the time, Shabbos.
Shoelace, yeah, Kesher Kayama, whatever that means. We're not going to get into it now. They say a story about Rav Elyashiv. Someone came to Rav Elyashiv and said, "Are you allowed to tie your something?" I can't remember what it was. A bottle opener or something. He said, "Are you allowed to tie it on Shabbos?" He said, "Yeah." And then 5 minutes later, another guy came and said, "Are you allowed to tie the same thing on Shabbos?" He said, "No." So the guy said to him, "A minute ago you said yeah." Now you're saying no. It's the same kasha. He went once, and this guy did twice. Twice is already a kasha kayama. So Chacham has to know how to ask a question. It's a big problem. Okay. Says the Shulchan Aruch. Wait, hold on. Sma. Chav Dalet. We're on page Reish Chav Zayin, top of the page. Sma. Ketzad Rukai Shoy Mata B'Shabbos. Naka Gimel Minei Das B'Kan. So,
Say it again, where are we?
on the Sma. Top of
Okay.
page Reish Chav Zayin.
Good.
Naka Gimel Minei Das. There's 3 types of history boys over here. 3 types of boys you got here. Va'echad. The first Haidah is the Filim Einem Yoidim Boishu Yodea Shu Shabbos. We don't know if he knows it's Shabbos. We got to tell this guy that this is Asa. This is called the Malacha. You don't know. You can't tie on Shabbos a double knot, whatever it is. People don't know about Beira, so that's the big one nowadays. People have to think of sugar. Hasheni, Afami Malacha for Semes, even if it is a famous Malacha. Le'isa b'Shabbos. If you don't know if this guy knows it's Shabbos, maybe he thinks it's still Purim. He doesn't realize Shkia, the bell went already. So you got to tell him, hey Chabibi, it's Shabbos. Ashlishi afshu yidua shu atzma la ma'isa shu oisa shu be'isa. Even if the guy knows that it's awesome, he doesn't know the Einish. He doesn't know he's going to be posel edus for being Mechal Shabbos. For some reason, you've got to tell him, Chabibi, if you do this, you're posel edus. That's a bit of a strange one, that.
I mean, you're really high for a chotas, then no.
You got to tell him he's posel edus. That's the Lashon Shulchan Aruch. The guy's gambling. You got to tell him, listen, gambling, it might be fine. So it could be he's only going on the gambling thing where he's not over any Yisurim. If you remember, we saw the big machlekes if it's also. Even he's got to tell him, huh?
What are the negative ramifications of being puzzled to edus other than not being able to do edus?
That's it. I mean,
So it's not such a
could
big
be-
deal. Yeah?
Well,
What do you care if you don't make the edus?
right. So l'chayra, if the guy, you're going to tell the guy, "Boy, you Chal Shabbos and you chayv skila," right? And also, you should know you're posel edus. You can't be aid in a chuppah. It's a big busha, by the way. If someone calls you up to be an aid, and you say, "Oh, I'm posel edus," in front of the whole town, the worst punishment you get is chayrim, is busha, l'chayra. It's not such a small thing. People know it's posel edus. It's not fun. It's posel edus. it could be he's talking about here, Dafka by the Avobaridis. Dafka by, not the Avobaridis, Dafka by gambling. So by gambling, he's not chayiv any, he's not chayiv Malkus, he's not even Issa. But you got to tell him, you should know, you're Pasal Eidus. I'm not sure he doesn't seem to be saying that though. That's not Lashon of the Smell, right?
So
You
this
got,
one's too much Shabbos.
right, he's talking about Shabbos, but the Shulchan Aruch is still talking about Shabbos. The Shulchan Aruch says, "V'chen Masach B'Kuvia, Oy Mishanas Muchas."
That's outside of Shabbos.
Huh?
It's outside of Shabbos.
Right. So the Shulchan Aruch is talking about someone who's Masach B'Kuvia, Oy Mishanas Muchas. You got to tell him, you should pass le'edus. Okay. So what you can't? I guess what it means is you can't pass a guy. The Pasha says you can't pass him for edus unless he was told he's going to pass edus. I mean, it has major enough commitments, by the way, being pasul edus. It means you can't witness anything. You can't if you see a car crash and it's like your testimony is worthless. Your friend wants to borrow money. You can't be a witness. He says, "Oh, here, look, It's not just like you can't be called up for in the chuppah. You basically anything you say is worthless. You can't witness anything. You're not named for anything. You have zero nem on us. Okay. Gabay Shemaisif. Take a look in Ches Shach. The Smah, sorry. Gabay Shemaisif la'atzmai. Hai Shemaisif agabay lechud koi. You have to know that he's adding for himself. Okay. Take a look in the Piskei Tshuva.
You have to know for certainty that this guy is Moshe Latzmai.
Yeah. Even though Mistoma he is being Moshe Latzmai, you gotta have sure. Take a look at the Piskei Tshuva, top of the page.
A lot of people who uses his living to go to money. They get these phone calls from these guys.
Yeah.
And they take a cut.
Yeah, but that's not a gab. The gabbai here we're talking about is a guy that you can come around and say how much you owe. He gives you an assessment. He gives you an evaluation. You owe $100 to shul. You owe $100 to the area. So he can throw out whatever money he wants. So we're going to assume that he's not Yasha. He charges some people more and some people less. He's Meisif to some. His friends he doesn't charge as much. So he's in a variant. That's what we saw before. So take a look at Piskei Tshuva. Ketzeru Kaisha. Ein Sma Shkosov. Noch gimel los bekan. Va'ein besefer b'shitz. Chod leis chav ches shevet divet Tshuva b'is Yaakov. Be'inyan im ger. This is an interesting question. None do with the Shulchan Aruch. Im ger kosher lo haydach in his gayer. Kol zman shelo yasa tshuva ala veirus shel zayin mitzvahs b'nayich shova b'yosei oived gelilim. So you have a guy becomes a ger bal tshuva, not bal tshuva, becomes a ger tzedek, right? Is he kosher edus for various he did sheva mitzvahs b'nayich before he became a yid? You ever heard such a kasha? Is he chayv to do tshuva? Is ger tzedek for the various? Maybe he didn't do any of it. Maybe he ate even minachai. Maybe he's Chinese. He ate even minachai.
When he's tubbled, it all goes away.
Huh?
When he's tubbled for gerus.
So l'chayre, that's what he means. V'hisigol of Vayin Sham. It's posher that he doesn't need to. It's but he has this kasha, the Bris Yitzchak and the Chuvas Yaakov. They're not sure. It sounds like they're mistopic. If he has to do some type of tshuva. I agree with you. It's partial that he doesn't have to. When he's in Gaia, he's Makabal. We saw the only tshuva he has to do is to be Makabal to do that again, right?
This no mechadish. It's like he's born again. It's not
It's like a new person. He seems to have suffix. Chofei, Shulchan Aruch, Ein Odom, Nifsel Bavera, Al Piatzmai. Oh, back to the sugya. You can't pass it yourself. Ein Odom Nifsel Bavera, Al Piatzmai, Al Edim, Shidu Olav, Shein Odom Mesim Atze Rasha. You cannot make yourself into a Rasha. You can't pass it yourself. We're going to see there's a big machlekes over here. Agah, Mekom Mokam Einois, and I say Edech Atchila. If this guy comes in and says, by the way, I just over all the various in the Torah, b'neshima achas, we don't believe him, right? But guess what? Don't call him up to be the Eid under the chuppah, right? Don't call him in to be the Eid in your star. Don't use him lechatchila. But the Eved, if he's the guy that saw what happened, he saw it going down, so you can use him.
The question is what happens like a Kedushin.
You shouldn't use him lechatchila.
You don't know. It's not Yatzmoy.
Right, so don't use him lechatchila, but if you use the guy, she's still married. She needs a get. She's married, she needs a get. Let's say there's a call. The call's going around that this guy in town happens every once in a while. This guy in town is being mazana, right? This guy is Mesiachad Arayis. He's over Averis. No one saw it. Don't go say you don't know who says they saw it. That's what the talk of the town is. Yankel's not being a kosher either anymore, right? So is he kosher? Yeah, a nifsel. He's not possible Eidus if there's a call about him. But kol yoytzel kosher, kosher l'chol Eidus chutz mila Eidus isha. He's kosher for everything except for Eidus isha. He can't go and say this isha is a gerusha because we're worried he just wants to be mizanu though. We're chayshed. But he's neman on a shtar. He's neman on something else, right? So we'll see. There's a big machlaikas by a kol shein and nifsak. If there's a call one time that said, listen, this guy, he did something with someone, okay, he's kosher Eidus. What if there's a call the whole time, doesn't stop? This guy is Eino Helich B'derech Yeshara, he's over various non-stop. He's always over various. Is he still going to be kosher? So take a look at the Sma. Adam Ein Adam Nisel B'Aver B'Al Piyatzmai. Last wide line of Chofei. Atam, why is he not Apostle Atzmai? The Adam Korvetz Atzmai. Why can you not testify on yourself? Because you're Korvetz Atzmai, you're a Korov. Since you're related to yourself, you're not naman on yourself. As opposed to what's the other alternative? He's Negea, where you could say. He's Negea B'Davos, he's not naman on himself. That's not the din. He's not naman because he's a Korvetz Atzmai. She'ein Adam Eisam Atzmai Rasha, says the Sma, because of a Mordechai Perek Zeh Boirer, the Filim Omar as a tshuva, Loitzi Bribis, the Rumi Koraim Kadesh Lo Yoelech Averai. So even if this guy comes in the base and says, you know what, I borrowed Baribis, I'm going to pay back. I'm going to do tshuva. Right? We still don't believe him. Why? Because maybe he's just trying to pass himself and that he shouldn't be considered good aid against his friend. He's the guy who saw a loan against his friend, right? But he doesn't want to make his friend lose money, so he says, yeah, I'm Apostle Eidus, I didn't have Vera. So we don't believe him. The feeling, he's just trying to get out of testifying for his friends. He says, I'm a Rasha, you can't trust me. He's willing to make himself a Rasha and a Baal Tshuva. He's willing to be considered a Baal Tshuva to save his friend money. That's not good. Okay, because of Chavas involved. Okay, v'chein im nifsal alcohol. Next ma. V'chein im nifsal, v'chein ein nifsal alcohol. Because of Meisharim, Siv Beis, Varosh Peg Zebayr, the fila b'kolad le posik kosher le'edus. If there's a non-stop call, it doesn't stop. This guy's being over Averis. He's not a kosher yid. He's still kosher le'edus. This is not like the Rashba. The Rashba says posel edus. You're right. We don't believe a kol, but a kol dole posik is posel edus. Okay, and take a look in the Shach. You don't call a God to be aid under the chuppah, right? You don't say come be an aid. Okay. Now take a look at the Pesach Tshuva. Chofei, fourth line in the Pesach Tshuva. El al pi edim. Kosev v'sefer b'sitzchok mashma. Davka al pi shnayim edim, aval al pi edechod nifsel klal. Afil d'Rabbanon. Sorry, this is on the next stickle. That's on the next one. That's on the next one. Okay. So take a look at the next one. Chofei.
Which one?
Sorry, this is what we did. Ein on the Nissel. Sorry, Chofei. Yeah.
In the Shulchan Aruch or
We
in
saw
Piskei Tshuva?
Piskei Tshuva. Take a look at Piskei Tshuva. One second. Okay, so what's the din? What's the din if one aid says that this guy is Posel Eidus? Is he believed? Does one aid have any kayach? So I'll be aidim. Kosovo says Mash with Davka Alpi Shnaim aidim. You need two aidim to Posel him. If one aid says this guy did an avera, he's not even possible with Rabbanon. One aid is nothing. Now, like one aid is no nemonis. Normally, one aid can make you take a shvur, right? Or he has to take a shvur. Does he have to take a shvur that he wasn't over this or no? One aid is nothing over here. Shein other meis mas mirasha.
If there's an ed, there's no call.
No, well, it doesn't matter if there's a call. Either way, call doesn't make him possible either. Either way, it's kosher. Aid, call.
No, but a call that's.
Dolei pasuk? No, not necessarily.
So at the end of the remark, he refers him to Simon Yoredea, Simon
Kuf Yutes, yeah.
So Simon deals with Chashuvim. Most of this halacha deal with Chashuvim not oiklim. But he brings one halacha that even the person who's a Chashuv, even if he commits himself to making a shvuah, you're not going to accept him.
Not just Eidus. He's Chosh is also a shvur. He can't take a shvur either. Right. He's not naming a shvur. So if I say, if I got Eidecha that says you owe me money, but you're apostle Eidus, you can't even take a shvur. You're not apostle Eidus, you're apostle a shvur. There you go. It's another nafkamina. You ask me what's the nafkamina if you apostle Eidus or not, Rabbi Schwartz. You hear? You ask what's the nafkamina if you apostle Eidus. So it's not just apostle Eidus, you're also apostle a shvur. So if I come to you and I say you owe me money, I've got Eidechad, normally you could take a shvur. But now that you're apostle Eidus, you're also apostle a shvur. You can't take a shvur to part yourself either. You can't take a shvur. You can't take aid. You can't take a shvur either. Okay. Okay. Mason. Take a look in the Piskei Tshuva. Ein bei the Weimshe was Maram Lublin Simon Pei Aleph the Glein Moreno Rabbeinu Feibush Mikrakau Kost of the Efshel Lechalek. Da hat der Kaimel an Eidan Amesim Mas Mirasha Hainu Eicha Davka Shabala Haidashu Rasha. When do you say Eidan Amesim Mas Mirasha? Yes, the Refibers from Krakow said a big chiddush. When do you say Eidan Amesim Mas Mirasha? If a guy comes into the base and says, guess what, Rabbi Sai, I'm a Rasha. Even though he says, I want to do tshuva now, I want to give him malkas, I'll pay up, we still don't believe him because Ruma Kamarim he wants to puzzle all his edus. He decides he wants to help his friend, so he puzzles himself. We don't believe him. He doesn't want to puzzle himself. He's trying to protect himself. He comes and says, I didn't eat the McDonald's, I didn't eat the burger, I just ate the chips. I'm not kosher, I'm not puzzle. I didn't eat the Big Mac, I just had the whatever it was, right? He says, I didn't eat. I didn't eat dvarav, unitvas, but we chap him. He doesn't come to say I'm a naver. He doesn't come to say I'm a rosh, I'm doing tshuva. He comes to say I'm a tzaddik. But we say tzaddik. We've seen bigger tzaddikim than this before, right? Then we can believe him. You hear this chiddush of a Feibush? It's a big chiddush. The whole din of Einan Amesim Mas Mirasha of Feibush is only because we think he's playing games. If he's coming to make himself a Rasha to puzzle his previous edus, we don't believe you. We don't believe you now to puzzle your other edus. You can't puzzle yourself. But if he's coming to matter himself, say, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't eat the Big Mac in McDonald's, I just ate the fries. Right? Oh, I'm assuming the fries are not kosher either, I don't know. maybe they are kosher. But if he says, I didn't eat the whatever, I didn't do this, I did that, but that is also asa, and everyone knows it's asa. So still, then he's going to be mutter. Then he's going to be pasal edus. Then he's going to be mission accomplished, or not mission accomplished. He didn't try to pass himself, but he can pass himself. It's like a messiah fitumai type thing. Like he wasn't trying to do it, so we'll believe him. Okay, skip the back. It's Vuzah Chaylik Alav, and he's Chaylik on the Moram Lublin is Chaylik on Fivish. V'kosav. The loim mistabel lechalik b'acher. You can't make such a chilek. The had ein adam nifsel al piatzmai. Loim is svar ba'alma amuchein. That's not a svara that we think he's going to try and help his friend out by puzzling his own testimony. Elamedina. Mishum da adam karvetz latzmai. There's a din. Adam karvetz latzmai. You're not Naaman. Since it's deraisa, your apostle Adam karvetz latzmai is deraisa. You can't testify on your wife, you can't testify on yourself. So then there's no mafkemina. You can't be mechalek between whether it's intentional or unintentional. Either way, he's a karvetz latzma, it's his apostle. So I guess L'chera Fibush says that it's not a din of kurva, it's there's some type of smar here. V'ayim b'chedes adoyle b'agat samach beish kosov af agav the ein adam made atzmei rasha made some rasha aval ibola hayd l'tevasai. He's coming to help himself out. He's saying, you owe me $100. V'ayim dezeh made some atzmei rasha neman. But in order to help himself, he's got to look like a bit of a rasha. Then he is neman. So in other words, if I come and say, I lend you money b'ribis, you owe me $100,000. So I'm a Rosh, I lend you Baribas, but you owe me the money. I'm trying to get the money you owe me, right? Then I am Naaman. Aram Maramesh Isras Shuva Simon Lamed, B'Shem Mordechai V'Achayletz. So in other words, if a guy comes and says, I lend you money Baribas, pay up, right? Basically will say, they're not going to say, Einon Mesos Rosh, we don't believe you. They'll say, he's coming to win here. He's not coming to puzzle himself. He's coming to get money. Now we understand why you're doing it. You're doing it not to puzzle yourself. You're doing it to get money from this guy. L'chayr dvar mele mechuval n'diva agoyin or a five-bush mikraka. So l'chayra, the Moshe Isilis, the Ramah, he seems to be saying like a five-bush mikraka. Olam b'chnechsach agdayla shah mesayim al zeh u'badakti b'mordechai d'chayletz v'lei mutzasi. This thing, the Ramah quotes the Mordechai in prayer to Chayletz, I didn't find it, I am Sham. So I don't know what you do. You go to Machlekes, the Ramah, and whether it's a Mordechai or not. How do you pass it? I'm b'seif Shamish, but Mashkos b'seif. I'm b'tshuva Shemen Rekeach. Sorry, I'm b'tshuva Shemen Rekeach. Elekach Tzim Samach Aleph. I'm b'tshuva Shemen Rekeach. Elekach Tzim Samach Aleph. B'uvda b'chabur z'mizgei Yash, Yain Sheikha, Shenishbu ba Yain Saraf. Whiskey. Shenishbu ba Pei Mem. What's that? Malosai or something, I don't know. Shekal Echad Muchiv lo Yidia, La Naman Kodim Shelech Hatvu Litchin Kama Yitchan. Ubim Yalem Muchiv Litin Esrim Adum Knas. Whoever, if any one of them tries to rip the other guy off, he's got to pay a knas of 20 adumim. And one of them tried to rip them off. And then this guy was Maida. He gave a tshuva, basis natzlus, and he's chayiv b'teich tanoisov. But they came out, based on what he said, he's chayiv, right? Vayra harav badat shemchoyiv litin knas. Begamu posel edus rishua. He has to pay the knas that they agreed on, and he's also posel edus rishua. Ve'ezik dalim pick was And there was a big machlekes. But fair near time, a big fact we should die in Tainif Seleseish, and now Kivin Shalai Hayo Edim Negdai. Like Oisa Anoshim Bechevra Moizgim. They weren't Edim, they were just part of a group of Moizgei Ein Sheikha. Vehim Noigim Bedava, Shorotzi Shanahem, Mashahelim Megam Shitin Knas. And they were going to get Bedava. They wanted to get money out of him. What about he himself was Maida? That's Maida. And the fact that he was Maida, you can't pass him either. They know Nishalat Salasway. Who? Hiskim Marav. The Shabbat lives so this sure. Okay. I'm not sure he's adding from this case. The Pikma said they know Nifsalat Pilatzmai. Yeshlem Abis was a guy, Fibish Bekraka, Shuva Bishuvas Mamaral, Chez Bezek Kosovar Bishuvas Mordechai. Vim Kain, who had been in on Shish and it's got Boka Bisnazel from that basin, Shleichot the club. He's coming to say he didn't sin. Raksha Psakdanaya, Shames Snatzes. But they said that's not good enough, right? Shapin if Salal Piatzmai. Therefore, he is possible Al Piatzmai. Achbem is a Nakirab Bchokim Aswazu. You can't hold like this with Freibush because there's too many people argue. Okay, who argues with the Freibush? That's the kasha now. If he does a Ravan Shuba Mordechai, Kabi Nachsud or Baba. Nachsud Rabba the Sefer Deina the Mesamatsu Rasha. Aval Imika Eidach Vumoidel Dov Divrei Eid Nasir Rasha. So he says, ain't other Mesamatsu Rasha, that's good if you're Rasha by yourself. You don't believe. But if someone else says muskim that you walked into McDonald's, now there's two of you, then you moided them, then you are a Rasha. So after even though one aid can't parcel you, made you chiddush, but if one aid and you are maida, then you're busted. Then you are parcel. So we saw one aid can't parcel you, and you can't parcel you. But 2 zeros make a 1. The 1 8 plus you couldn't parcel you. The Maida different aid nifsel beidachod. So major chiddush. You know, a lot of time the guy's over an avera and not in front of Barabim. He does it in front of one person. He's not going to deny he did it. You know, the guy says, "Yeah, I was Michal Shabbos, and one person saw me." Okay, so now you have 2. Vim came to move forward, but Sachas Yavam was off Beches, the Dav Kufiyat Zayin on the base, the Komok of the Eidach and Neman, Afshtei Moshe Psulim and the Goyim Gamke Neman. So any place of 1 8 is Neman, so 2 women are also Neman, the Psulim and the Goyim are also Neman. So this guy, he's Neman. Okay, I'm not going to see the rest of this tshuva.
But it could be if he's mitzvah to the Eidachad, it's only if he has something to gain, like limits.
So then even if he has something to gain, he's Naaman. He's Naaman, he's a Rasha.
Only when he has something to gain. If Stam says without...
then he should be Naaman anyway.
Like French fries.
Yeah.
Then it's not starved today. That's the way I understand this. I'm not sure.
Hold on. If he has nothing to gain, then there's more reasons to believe it. If he's not trying to parcel...
No, it's Eina Mesatzah Rasha. But when you say like for a 5ish, they said it to Kalachayad, he meant something else.
Right.
So I think only then he's mitzvah
to the other aid.
To the aid.
Could be. I think he should be saying any time they have another aid with you, it's irrelevant. He's not getting into the whole machlikas of 5ish or not. Anytime you have another aid, you're Naaman. If you're not, we don't say Einon Meis Mas Rasha. The whole club Einon Meis Mas Rasha is only if there's no other aid. If there's another aid echad, we always believe you, regardless of what your motivations may or may not be. Okay. Turn the page. Chof Vav. Leiva sheheid ala malva shehilva leberibis. The leiva comes and says that this guy lent me money beribis. V'yesh eidach acher imoy, and there's another witness. So mitzdarfin a paislai. So they can. This guy, the loiva, and the idachot can pasal a malva. Right? Again, the loiva and the idachot can pasal a malva.
The lawyer was moidez that
He took a aval baribus. Yeah. So even though he's a rasha, l'chayr we do it by getting the bura, right? Af al pisha isad rasha. Even though he's a rasha with this testimony, he shouldn't be believed b'chalal. So how could him and the other eight together pasal the malva? It works. By getting the bura, we split up his lashon. Umaminim moisel legabe malva, v'loy legabe atzmai. We believe him legabe the malva. We believe that this guy is running a bank. We don't believe that he borrowed money. V'chein im heyid shepleini rovai afilu ritzaynai. This guy says he had. This guy was rova him. Even ritzaynai, meaning even if he says I was b'mezid and I'm a rasha. Reuven says an Adam Korvetz a Lishtoi, right? So he can't testify against his wife, but he says Reuven was Baal Lishtoi. Oisharova Shairai. Who va'achem mitzarfen in place. So this guy that witnessed this Maisa Rayas together with another aide can passel the other guy. Says the Ramah, someone comes to steal from Reuven. Shimon steals from Reuven's watch, so he can testify together with somebody else against the Gazlan. As long as there's no hana from the Edis. I'm not sure what that means yet. Let's see. He doesn't have hana from If he says that guy stole from me, he's going to get the money back.
But if he has his malva b'ribbis, he won't pay the ribbis.
Yeah, but here he's talking about Shenigza Yochalai de la
He
Gazlan.
also has malva.
Kumaya Malva is Naaman.
But the loiva can have something to gain.
He can't, right, he has nothing to gain. So we'll see what it means. Okay. Take a look in the Sma. Shilvai Baribis. V'china Barambam Perik Bey Yud Beis Mehilchas Eidos. The cost of Amma Alayhiva Amma Hilvali Baribis. Reuven says to Shimon, "Lend me $100. I'll give you a 10% interest." Afilu Halchi Naman Ala Malva LePaisle. He's Naman to Pasal the Malva. We believe him. Lafuke Mordechai Perik Zepaira. The Mordechai does not agree with this. The cost of the Tzarch Lema Eizif Baribis V'Lo Shakamidi. Ayin Darke Moshe Siflam Zayin. So the Mordechai has a whole different pshat. I'm not 100% clear what the Mordechai is saying, but what he's saying is that he didn't borrow the money. I'm kosher. I never borrowed the money. He said he's going to lend me $100. He wrote the shtar. He put the money on the tables. He was over. I never picked up the money. I'm a good Jew. I never took it. Or maybe he said I took the money, but I had no intention to pay back the ribbis. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you understand this Mordechai. How do you understand this Mordechai? I took the money, but I didn't want to pay the ribbis. I never had intention to pay the ribbis.
No, he didn't take the money. That's what
So the
I didn't take the money. Yeah,
the Malva can't take the star anywhere because it's
he didn't get the money.
yeah.
I don't understand the scenario. Like, what's he saying? What's the case here?
he just proposed to give him the ribbis.
So, Chishuv las is a very say Yapata. He's not Russia. He seems to be saying he's a Russia. He lent the money. I just didn't take it. No. How does that happen? How does that guy lend the money? He doesn't take it. He puts it on the table. Maybe he put it in his bank account. He put it in his house, but he didn't touch it. Maybe that's what it means. I'll drop off the money in your house and give me the interest, but I didn't do Kenyan on it. I never picked it up. He's a Rasha. He lent money Baribis. He did his chelik. I never touched the money. I'm not borrowing it. I refuse.
Yeah, that's what the Mordechai said.
Right? That's what he said. That's what he means. That's the case. I'm saying, what's the case? He's over, but I'm not over. How does it happen?
As if
He lent the ribbis, but I didn't take it. What does that mean? So he gave the money or not? He's still holding on.
Also, the Ramah quotes him. I don't know if it's the same Mordechai, but I think it is.
No. Okay, so that's what he's saying. He threw the money in my house. He lent me the money with ribbis, but I didn't take it. I wasn't over yet. I didn't do a kinyan on the money. So says the Sma, Pagin de Bure, the Kashama Pliny of the Liberibis, Umeada Chaveroi, he's testifying on his friend Shilva. Valatz Moy Shalava. When I say he lent me money, there's two things. He lent money and I borrowed money. So Pagin de Bure split up his statement. Ikilu Oimer, it's as if he says, Pliny Hilva Beribis, Vale Amali. It's like he's coming in to testify. Guess what? Reuben lent money out Beribis. He doesn't say to who. That's a different issue. Who did he lend to? It doesn't matter. But he's testifying that Reuben lent money out. You don't start adding, you don't do pagin de buri if you have to add a tam. You don't do pagin de buri, it's something that's not shchiach. Pagin de buri is only stuff that's shchiach. You don't have to start adding in svaras over here. He doesn't like the whole pagin de buri thing, basically. He's much more machmir when you can say pagin de buri. You don't make crazy assumptions and crazy stories up to do pagin de buri, right? That's the chayr what the Mordechai is saying. Keep going in the Sma. I am choose Rash B'Simen Aleph Reish Lamed Zayin. There's a huge shachar is going to dig into this Mordechai. Maybe we'll see it tomorrow. We don't have too much time, but let's finish this Sma in the meantime. I am choose Rash B'Simen Aleph Reish Lamed Zayin. There's a big difference if I say I was mizana with your wife, if I say your wife was mizana with me. Why? In other words, if he says ani zanisi, he's already pasul. Now when he says imishtacha, too late, you're already pasul. We don't do pagin de bori. But if he comes in and says ishtacha zinsa, your wife was mizana, he's neman. Then when he says the last words, in me, then now we'll do pagin tiburi. Now we can't accept what you're saying, but we already heard what you said till now. So that's how the pagin tiburi works. When he says first ishtchazinsa, that's an iman, that's an eidus, it's neman. Only when he throws an imi afterwards does he become possible, but it's too late now. He already said ishtchazinsa. But if he starts off by saying I was mizana, it's possible. Anything he says from now on is tainted. Okay, Aishur of Ashayrai. This case of Aishur of Ashayrai is a totally different case. Even though the Shulchan Aruch throws it in there, it sounds like it's all, Chai Nuhach, it's all the same idea. But it's a totally different thing. The Sham Pagin in the Burev in Neman Alatzoi Valishtai. Right? The guy's not Neman, he was Mizana, or his wife was Mizana, that he's not Neman, right? By Shairai he is Naaman. By Shairai, Naaman Gamal Shairai Lahargai will kill the Shah. If he says this guy was Rava Shairai, we'll kill the Shah. But guess what? Since we don't kill the Shah nowadays, so the Shulchan Aruch doesn't throw it in. The person is not Karvet till Mamayin, so therefore we'll kill the Shah. Since Ein Adam Karvet Til Mamainai, he's not related to his donkey or his shar, his ox. So he could testify this his ox was Muzana.
Even though he's going to lose him.
Right. Well, the other guy's going to be Chayiv the Mominus, but he can still testify that they've got to kill it.
Kill the shore.
ובמפני שבזמן הזה שאין דונן דין מיסה, אין סולקים רק in the shah. Since nowadays we don't kill a shah, כמו שכוסו בסימן א', שואחי לא ידיק כמקבל לכתוב זה. That's why the Mechaber throw this in, because since we don't kill shayras nowadays anyway, so Ramah didn't throw this in. ולא כוסף הנידינים אלא משום פסולי דאיש, או רבר דנוי גם בזמן הזה. So the reason why he throws it in is only because it's the same thing as the ish, which is Noig Bezman Hazeh.
They don't kill it.
So it seems to be like he's saying the Ramah basically misleads us a little bit about the whole Shah. The Shulchan Aruch misleads us with the whole Shah thing, even though it's not true. It doesn't add anything. You just throw it in there because just like Ish, Shairai, Ishtai, Shairai, but really by Shairai, Adam Karvet Salman Mainai.
What do they do to the shore now?
Nothing. So
mutter.
not only do we not kill people nowadays, we don't even kill animals.
So you can shech that
He
near
keeps it.
He just says, "Well,
I
no,
don't know. It's not. We don't do the skila. I'm not sure. All right, we'll see tomorrow. The shach. Try and analyze this Mordechai. He doesn't like the whole Bakin and the Bura thing. But I mach one